Hi everyone, welcome to another video in the series of building AI agent from scratch. So this is a special video because so far whatever concept we have learned, we will be using all of it in this video to create an actual agent, a simplified version of agent. I don't know about you, but when I looked at a similar code in an open source project for the first time, it was an aha moment for me that is it that simple? Like that's how you can build an agent in only few lines of code. And it's actually true. Maybe you'll add some more guardrails, but actually this is all you need in order to build an agent. You just have a infinite loop, and every time you for any message you get from the user, and note that this is list of messages, so it can be also message with the entire history. You send it to the LLM, and whatever response you get back from the LLM, you push it in the list of messages. If the current message has any tool call, meaning that if the LLM thinks that in order to answer question, it needs to call the any of the existing tool base, it will continue to loop through all the tool calls and execute the tool from the toolbox with the run method and the arguments, and push the list of messages into the history. And if there is no further tool call, we can assume that this is the place where LLM has finally discovered the answer, and we can simply return the content from the LLM response. And that's all you need to build an agent. And here's the final code. So same thing, like we created our tool helper method from last video, and then we created two tools. One is the calculator, we just wrapped it in the tool method, but the actual code is same. It just adds, subtracts, or multiplies and divide the numbers. So yeah, in this case there are three parameters. Now we also have an operator just to keep things generic, and then there's another tool to search Wikipedia, which takes the parameter as query and simply makes a call out to the Wikipedia API, get the response, clean it up, and return it. So these are the two different tools we'll be using. We just wrap it in a list of in an array, and while calling the LLM, while executing the LLM somewhere, yeah, over here, we are, while instantiating the LLM, we are sending the list of tools along with the actual user prompt. And then in the run agent method, there is this simple while loop, or we have enhanced it. It's not a simple while infinite loop, but instead as a guardrail we have defined a max number of steps the LLM should be taking, because there can be cases where it's a really complex problem and LLM, it just keeps calling the tools and executing itself, and there is a high chance it will keep executing and consuming server in our case, or an actual API token, which will cost you a lot of money in case of a closed weight model. So it's always a good practice to have a max number of step, so it doesn't go mad and adds to your bill. So in our case, we have max number of step as 10, and until either the max step is reached or the LLM figures out the answer, we'll keep looping. And finally, whenever we are sure that the LLM has the response, we'll return the content from the LLM response. Now, in our case, we ask the same question: what is Eliud Kipchoge's marathon record? And also another question to multiply his time out of and tell me the total seconds. So let's go back to the relevant directory and execute it. So ideally it will be calling the Wikipedia to know what's the record for Eliud Kipchoge, and then call the calculator to get the total number of seconds. Alright, so we have the final response. Actually, it made 4 different calls to the calculator. First was multiply, multiply, and then add the seconds. Okay, let's try another example from our README document, which is this one. So we are going to ask it how many minutes are in a week, and we know for sure that LLM won't be able to answer this. Maybe it has the training information for capital of Japan, but in case it doesn't, it will call the Wikipedia to guess the answer. And sure did, it called the Wikipedia to get the actual response. So chances are, even if the LLM has the training data, it may give you the priority to the tool. That's how the post training works. So if there is a relevant tool, it will always go for calling the tool instead of relying on its training data. Alright, that's all. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more optimization on how we'll work with the agents in further videos. Thank you.